Welcome back to this episode of the Battle of Badr. As we're discussing about the involvement of the Malaika, Hadhrat Ibn Abbas radiallahu ta'ala anhu reports that a group of people, in fact two of them from Bani Ghaffar, he says that they were sitting on the mountain right at Badr, and their intention was to see who was going to be victorious from the two parties, and the one that will lose, we will go there and we'll take whatever war booties and help ourselves. So they were waiting for the outcome and say whatever is left over they will loot. Hadhrat Ibn Abbas radiallahu ta'ala says that the person that he took this message from, he says, I was there with my first cousin, my uncle's son, and we heard a voice, Iqdim Hayzoom. This was the words of Hazrat Jibreel Amin alayhi salatu wasalam, but they could not see anything. They said, we heard this word. It says, it sounded in such a way that my first cousin, he could not withstand the voice and the words of this Malaika, that immediately he fainted and he died with that fear and the voice of Hazrat Jibreel alayhi salam. He says, I somehow or the other managed to compose myself and I was able to leave from there. Then this message also was given by one of the persons that participated in the Battle of Badr, Hazrat Abu Sufyan bin Hisham. He was the Prophet ﷺ's first cousin. He says, at that time I was a non-Muslim. When I returned to Makkah, and Abu Lahab, that did not participate in the battle, instead he sent someone on his behalf, he asked him, tell me what happened, what is your report? So Hazrat Abu Sufyan bin Haris says that, you know what, we saw such strange people that we haven't seen before in our lives. That they had white turban on the head, and their horses had a certain mark on the forehead, and these were unusual, and they fought so vigorously that nobody could stand against them. Our movements were restricted, and it's very difficult to explain you how we felt on the day of Badr. It was like we were not faced with 313 people that were unarmed or ill-equipped, etc. This was a different scenario altogether. So Hazrat Abbas radiallahu ta'ala's servant Abu Rafi was standing close by, and he said, Wallah, these were not human beings. Instead, these were the Malaikas. These were the angels. Now, for one, you know, Abu Lahab being the chief, one of the chiefs of the Meccans, when somebody comes and gives him the news to say that, hey, this is what happened to the Meccans, 70 of them got killed, 70 of them got captured, the rest of them had to run for their life, he found it very difficult to believe. He says, when they're opposed by a group of people that were 313, how did this happen? And then when Hazrat Abu Sufyan bin Haris began explaining it to him, then Abu Rafi had to say it in between that, yes, this was not only the human beings, these were the Malaikas, the angels. Now this was like throwing salt on the wound. Abu Lahab got very upset. He struck Abu Rafi, he sat on top of him and he started hitting him continuously. The wife of Hazrat Abbas, Hazrat Fazl, when she saw this happening, she took a stick that had the edge of the stick was rounded, like how the Africans normally carry a stick like that, and they call it dugu. And she took that stick and she struck Abu Lahab so hard on his head that he fell. And he got up and he went to his house. After that, Abu Lahab got a sickness, chicken pox, and this was such a feared sickness. Like currently how we have the COVID-19, everybody keeps away and they protect themselves, etc. This was a similar type of sickness for the Arabs. Everyone they kept away. This person was kept in quarantine. Within 3 days' time, he died. The family had to appoint people, pay them money to do the undertaking, take the body of Abu Lahab out of Makkah and there to dump him and bury him somewhere. So we will end up with this part of this session about the intervention of the Malaikas, and we will continue